Hello and welcome to The Appointment. I'm Pranjal Sharma. Joining me for a conversation today is Mr. Harsh Mariwala. He's the chairman and founder of Marico Industries. Mr. Mariwala, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for calling me.
As we begin our conversation, it's been an incredible journey for Marico Industries and for you. Give us some highlights of your journey so far.
Well, I started many years back, almost 4 decades back, and it's been a long journey for me. And when I started working, I didn't have any clue what I was going to do. But as I entered the family business at that time, one part of the family business consisted of edible oils. And we were selling edible oils in bulk, unbranded, most of it. And at that time, I saw an opportunity of converting that business from unbranded to branded. And that was my first exposure to consumer products. Initially, I started doing that by improving our distribution infrastructure. But over a period of time, started investing into brands and made 2 very strong brands, which are today also very strong brands, Parachute and Saffola. And the seeds of the 2 brands were sown almost 40 years back. But if I look back, I think one thing which has played a very important role is that we have kept the brand message consistent over a period of time. So Parachute stands for purity, and Saffola stands for good for heart. And I think those 2 have remained consistent over a period of time, and I think that has helped these 2 brands in the marketplace over a period of time, being a market leader. So I would say that was the first phase when I started learning a lot of FMCG business, and by sheer doing things like going into the market, going to the advertising agency and getting trained. So my first phase was actually to build these 2 brands, and at some stage when it reached a certain critical mass, we realized that being a part of a company at that time, Bombay Oil Industries, which had multiple businesses and which had many other family members, and which did not have any synergies, 3 businesses. It was proving to be dysfunctional because every time there was some sort of a conflict between 3 different businesses.
Mr. Mariwala, you focused on brands, and Marico was always ahead of the curve on this front. How did you feel that brands are important at a time when even consumers were not brand conscious?
So when we entered those segments, we had to be differentiated in the marketplace. And when you are a new player compared to the existing players, you need to score victories. And that can happen through investments in brand and innovations. And I think we realized that up to a certain point, you can take the brand through a distribution route. But if you really have to make big gains in terms of market share gains, you need to think differently. You need to do things differently. So positioning Saffola as good for the heart enabled us to create that distinct image of a healthy edible oil. Parachute, we converted the whole packaging from tins to plastics, and that gave a great opportunity for us to gain market shares in the marketplace because we were differentiated. And if you have to win, then you have to use brands as a route to differentiate in the marketplace. And I was very clear that at that time, though the overall attention paid to brands was not as much as it is being paid today, but that was likely to be the future of the branded industry.
How did you manage to convince seniors and the people around you, the management, the family, that the steps you're taking are important and investing in brand is very critical?
I would say that one had to take one step at a time, show the results and expand. So you would not, because I myself was not too sure, not having any experience in this kind of industry, so one had to take one step, show the effectiveness. It has proven results, then you take one bigger step. So we went through a learning curve in a gradual manner, and we had to prove ourselves to the elders.
So what were the learnings that you got from this experience? You were a young man trying to convince senior people about changes that nobody had thought of.
So I would say that if I look back at my own history, I think 2 things have played a very important role. One is people. I mean, you need to go on investing in good talent and go on improving the quality of talent every time you get an opportunity. The other is innovation. You need to continuously think of innovations, doing things differently compared to what others are doing. And whenever we've done this, and we've continuously gone on doing this in all our businesses, improving talent at various stages. Because when you are small and then you become a medium-sized company and then you're a large company, I think the quality of talent required to manage these three sizes is very, very different. And the same talent which was with you when you were small may not be qualified or may not be capable of driving the business when it's much bigger size.